Hey guys, this is Comic TV. I'm your host Lasso, and this is JB.
Hey guys,
Today we're bringing you our review of Aquaman. So what you think about it, JB?
I think it was a fantastic movie with gorgeous visuals. I think it was action packed, really just epic from beginning to end. I really enjoyed this. So I think Warner Brothers hit a home run with this movie, like they did with Wonder Woman.
I agree, and I mean I liked it. I liked it a lot compared to.
Let me just stop you real quick. Shout out to Amazon Prime. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you are eligible to get a screening, an advanced screening for the movie,
Right.
which
Yeah.
we seen.
Right. That was great. We got to see it a week before everybody, so
That's
that was
awesome.
awesome.
Shout out to Amazon Prime and Amazon Prime members that were there.
What was I gonna say? So yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I don't really have too many cons on it. I think if anything, the only thing I thought was that there wasn't anything really at stake. You know what I mean? Other than the end of the world, which that's overdone. You know what I mean?
I mean, everyone does it.
Right.
Marvel, DC.
Right. So I thought that could have been better. But other than that, I thought Jason was great as Aquaman. I thought Amber Heard was great as Mera. I can never say her name right. I thought the guy that played Ocean Master was great. And not only that, but just the comic book accurate costumes, like they were great.
Especially Black Manta.
Right. So let's start with the beginning of the movie. So at the beginning,
Gorgeous visual effects with Aquaman's mother.
Oh, that fight scene.
Yeah, that fight scene.
The fight scene was great. What's it called? It played out a little bit how I thought it would. And then we get to see Jason as a kid. We saw that in the trailers, but it was still great to see in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then the submarine scene.
Oh man, that was a really it was a lot of scenes that was really heart wrenching, like when Aquaman's mother had to return to the king, and even when Black Manta's, I think it was his father, right, or his master.
Yeah, no, his father.
His father had died, and it was basically Aquaman putting the missile on him, and he asked him for help. He even said please. And he was like, "You had no mercy here. You asked the sea for mercy," type deal. And it was like, it just touches you because that's your dad, man. That's your pops.
Yeah, it touches you, and then at the same time, you're like, well, they sought this life out, so it's like, come on.
Yeah, but then you go look at Aquaman's mother. She was supposed to be in the sea, but she wanted to break that, and basically provide a savior to the people. She made a sacrifice, which ended up she had to die in the trenches, basically.
Basically, yeah, that's true. I guess that's the two comparisons between them. And then we get a little, scene with his father, how their relationship is, which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get, to see Orm, talk to, I can't remember his name, Mira's father.
Right.
And the submarine attacks. What a coincidence.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I wonder who plotted that.
But now they agree that we should take the war to surface world, and the first thing that gets caught in is Aquaman, and he denies Mira's advice to go after the throne to save both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
But then what surprised me was that he actually didn't know her name. Like, how do you go a year and not know her name? Like, that was a little strange for me, but yeah, then we get he agrees to help Miriam. We got to see a little bit of Miriam's powers, which I thought were good visually, and he agrees to help. And they go to the city of Atlantis, which I thought looked gorgeous.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? And they go talk to Volkov, is his name? William Dafoe's.
If you're pronouncing it right, that's it.
And
somewhere in that area.
And we get to see them, interact and whatnot. and you see the flashbacks when he was training them and everything, and which I thought that was cool. You know, they spent just enough time showing you.
Exactly. The proportion of flashbacks as far as the young Aquaman or the young Arthur, it was just right on point. You know, they didn't give you this entire background story, but those little clips gave you enough information to where you were up to date with everything he's done and everything he's been through.
Right, and I like that. I thought that was great. You know, and then we see Arthur get captured, and he finally meets his brother.
Mm-hmm. Half brother.
Which I thought their interaction was great. You know, you felt something. You know, it's like they kind of both cared about each other, but they kind of, you know, didn't at the same time. You know, they didn't know what to feel for each other, which I thought was great. And then we get a pretty damn good fight between him and Orm.
Mm-hmm. In the Ring of Fire.
Yeah, and I thought that was great. You know, and you saw his mom's what's it called? Trident break, which I thought was a cool, you know.
It was an awesome slow motion. What just happened? I failed her. I failed my trainer. I failed myself. I failed the surface world and Atlantis type of moment. You know, that slow motion scene.
Right. Yeah, and then we get to see Miriam again, some of her powers, and she saves them, which was a little obvious, you know. And then we go.
Well, thank God, because that would have been the end of the movie.
Right. Then we go to see. Where do they go next? They go to
Italy.
They go to before Italy. They go to the Sahara.
Oh, the Sahara, Africa. They have a Pitbull remix of Africa by is it Tudo?
I'm not sure on that.
I know it's Toto, and the song is called Africa. But they had Pitbull in there, right? That was him that was rapping.
I think so.
So it must have been an Africa remix, and it was wonderful. It was a wonderful remix. They're in the plane. Miriam just jumps out of nowhere.
That was funny.
And like Jason said, you know, Arthur, you gotta love those redheads. Matter of fact, my beard is actually red when it grows.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, they go, they land where they need to land, you know, and they hear the message out, and at the same time, Orm gives Black Manta the equipment to kill, you know, Arthur.
Oh yeah, Arthur.
And that's how, you know, he built his suit, which I thought was cool. And then, you know, they go to Italy. She gets to experience, you know, human life, and I busted out laughing when she started eating the rose.
Yeah, that
was
cool.
Hilarious.
And then Arthur ate it.
Yeah,
like
just
trying to make her feel good.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
A lot of heartwarming, heart-wrenched, and just all around fun. You know, the movie's all around fun. I definitely recommend. You know, if you're listening to this, definitely go see it. It's worth the money. It's worth the hour, 30 minutes, almost 2 hour movie.
2 hours, yeah. No, I would definitely. I'm probably gonna go see it this weekend again. Yeah, and then we get, you know, they find out the location of, or where it could be, the Trident, and then Black Manta attacks, and that was a good back and forth fight. You know, Black Manta seemed like he had the upper hand.
Yeah,
and
not really back and forth.
Well, yeah,
Black
at the
Manta,
beginning, it was just
he was just
boom.
destroying them the whole time.
Yeah, and Arthur gets the upper hand, and it certainly seems like Black Manta died, but then we see the end credit scene, so
right,
definitely doesn't. You know, then they go. I thought it was hilarious. Mera steals a boat.
from the marina.
Yeah, and she thought it was free. It was priceless. And then they go to the trenches, which I thought was cool. You know, you got to see everything, and you know, it was great. Those red flares. Do red flares work underwater?
I think so. I've seen him.
Okay, because he went pretty deep underwater with a flare, and
I don't know if it'll work that deep.
Yeah, I was like, but it kept the trenches away, so you know, it was a good moment. And then we get they go into this light, and somebody saves Mera, and we get the big reveal that his mom's still alive.
Boom.
And I was like,
What a
wow.
twist.
Yeah, and I was just, and my first thing that popped into my mind was, how come she hasn't, after 20 years, still down here? And we figure out that, little cliche, but that the only way to get out of there was the trident. Somebody has to retrieve the trident and power their way out of there. And I was like, God, what are the odds? But it was okay. We see them tell Arthur, you're worthy enough to go get the trident and whatever. So he tries. And then, we see what looks like an almost octopus type deal that's protecting the trident. And, it doesn't want to let Arthur through, and Arthur starts talking to it. And I thought that was great, and I thought it was great because not all Atlanteans can do that. So I was like, that's a pretty cool thing, unique to Aquaman himself. But then we figured out that the other person that can do it was King Atlas.
Of course.
So it makes sense. And she says, all right, I'll let you try getting it, but nobody's been able to pry it out of King Atlas' hands. And then he does. And he comes out of the waterfall in his full suit, ready to go. Just as Orm's ready to attack. You know what I mean? I thought that was great. Orm attacks. I feel like we skipped a moment. Oh yeah. So we skipped when Orm killed the king of. I can't remember the name of it, but they look like fishmen. He killed them, the king of the fishmen or whatever, and I thought that was like, showed just how dirty he would be, and it kind of sucked that his daughter, he forced her to join alliances with them. You know what I mean?
So you could go to war with the surface world.
Yeah, so I think they were going after one more kingdom when Arthur shows up, and everybody kind of stops because they're like, everybody's fighting, but then at one point they're like, well, the Trench are following Arthur, you know what I mean? And they don't follow anybody.
Exactly.
And Arthur, so they kind of were like, yeah, maybe he is the rightful king, and Orm still didn't care, so they make it to the surface world, and Arthur fights Orm and finally beats him, and he's about to kill him. Orm says, yeah, kill me, just get it over with. I specifically like that he didn't go out looking like like how most villains look. Like, right. They try to figure out a way to get out, or they're scared, or, you know what I mean?
Try to escape.
Yeah, after acting so tough. It's like, come on, man. So I'm glad that they kept that with them, but Arthur
he stood his ground.
Yeah, and that Arthur didn't want to kill him. And then the mom shows up, and he finds out that she's alive. And she's like, Arthur saved me, and he kind of found a newfound respect for him because of that. And everybody now respects Arthur, and he's now the rightful king. And yeah, so that movie was definitely great, other than the stakes. I thought the visuals were great. I thought they handled Mera perfectly, She never felt forced when she was helping out. The plot twist of his mom being alive was kind of cool. I'm not too familiar with the comics, so I'm not sure if she's alive or not. But that was great. And then we get the end credit scene, which we see the doctor, or I don't know what he was, but he comes out when
he was a doctor.
When the news article. When you're watching the news, and he's that Asian guy, and he saves Black Manta, and he wants to see Atlantis. He's obsessed with it, and Black Manta's like, I'll take you there, but first we gotta find him, and he throws a knife at Aquaman, and I thought that was great,
Let you know it's gonna be an interesting part 2,
right?
Or second movie sequel.
Yeah, I thought that was great. But yeah, no, overall I enjoyed the movie. I definitely think people should go watch it. I'm definitely going to go for a second viewing. And we'll see what they do.
Awesome. I have nothing else other than it's a great movie, and I do recommend it to anyone who's just a fan of DC, Marvel, comic books, doesn't matter, man. This was a really, really well put together film. All around, not just comic book film or
Right.
animation type film. This is a cartoon deal. This was like really, really good movie.
No, yeah, I agree. I thought it was great, and hopefully, the only thing I would say is that I wanted to see a Shazam teaser or something, because I'm really looking forward for that movie. But I think this was another home run for DC, and
Yeah,
hopefully they keep
definitely.
them coming.
Definitely, just like Wonder Woman.
Right.
Aquaman and Wonder Woman are holding the DC franchise together now.
That's insane. I think it's them instead of Batman and Superman. You
Oh
know.
boy, well Batman's going through it. With the
Right.
character swap.
Right.
And then Superman, I don't know what's going on with Superman.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in the next couple of months.
Hopefully that he doesn't CGI his mustache again.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. And hopefully we get some Flash news. We haven't gotten any Flash news other than Ezra Miller saying that they're still going with it.
Mm-hmm.
Last I checked, they still hadn't found a director for it. So we'll
I think
see.
in 2019, which is next year, they're supposed to be doing the Black Adam.
I think they pushed it back to 2020. I'm
they
not
did?
sure. Yeah, but I think they're still going forward with that. Which that's going to be another good movie if they depict Black Adam, just the way it happened in the comics. Because it's a cool
Exactly.
story. It's a different comic book story. So I think that would be great. But I think that would be it for us today.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and make sure you stay tuned for more Comic TV. That's Lasso, and I'm your boy JB, and we'll see you guys next time.
Don't forget to subscribe and like.